This is Winnie Chow, Vice President of Women Federation of World Peace Taiwan. It is with tremendous honor and pleasure to have all our panelists joining us for the discussion on the topic of women, the game changer. Now, without further ado, please allow me to introduce all the panelists. When I call your name, please greet the audience and tell us why you're excited to be here. Professor Wang.
Hi, no problem. Yes. Hi.
Okay. Next, I would like to introduce Ms. Liao Zhini.
Hello, everyone. Happy to meet people around the world.
Nice to have you here. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Yo Hanru.
Hi, I'm Hanru, and it's nice to be here.
Good, welcome. And last but not least, I would like to introduce Ms. Dai Weiling. Weiling. Okay, I think that we're encountering some difficulties. It's okay, we will introduce Weiling in a little bit. Before we commence our panel today, I would like to brief you on Leadership Program for Young Women, which is organized by WFWP-TAIWAN and Global Women Entrepreneur Peace Alliance. It is wholeheartedly initiated by our WFWP-TAIWAN late President Lily Lin. This program is the reason why we're able to invite these outstanding young women to join us today. The main objectives of the program are to cultivate young women's international vision, to deepen their involvement in international affairs, to raise awareness of international and local issues, and to build a network of young women locally to connect with international allies. We're very lucky to have supportive sponsors for our program. These women entrepreneurs invest their time and resources in creating these opportunities for young women to thrive. Without their sponsorship, we won't be able to run the program. So wholeheartedly, I thank all our women entrepreneurs for investing in these young women. These are the following are some pictures from our program. We actually spend a lot of time with these 10 young women. That was our first time running the program. I think to us, we would like to pass on some experience and to gather resources to allow them to experience and to be educated in how to, for instance, present their papers in a more professional manners, or for instance, the international advocacies. We even have 1-on-2 mentorship sessions where they maybe are encountering some issues with their current career or with the topics that they're interested in, but they don't know how to get into starting the research. So we spend a lot of time interacting with these young ladies, and we talk to them, we coach them. So these are the pictures from our program in 2019 and 2020. We're actually very lucky to have a group of professors, professionals, and women entrepreneurs. Everyone voluntarily wanted to do something for these young women, which is very nice to see that we not only in our own fields that we are thriving, but we are willing to give. And I think that willingness to give is something that we treasure, and we would like to continue to foster that program in order for more young women to be able to benefit from it. So that's the program that we have ran in 2019 to 2020. And we selected two groups for attendees. These are the 4 young ladies which we have selected, and we were originally going to send them to NGO CSW 64 to attend the conference. But unfortunately, that year, the conference was all canceled. So we quickly shift to local platforms. We created more opportunities locally for them to be able to share their papers and their research. I would like to just mention the brain behind all this is our Professor Wang Lirong, Wang Jiaosou. Professor Wang, as busy as she has always dedicated her time and energy to guide and instruct us on focusing in developing good quality courses for the program. She holds high standards and expectations that all of us are able to deliver, and for these young women participants to continue not only advancing in their own professional fields, but also dedicate their resources and energy in caring for international affairs. So please allow me to briefly introduce Professor Wang. She's experienced in the field of social work and have great passion for continuing to better the situation in areas such as gender justice and workplace, gender-based violence, gender care, and migrant workers' well-being. She has published several books such as Women and Social Policies, Risk, Society in Asian Countries, and Social Qualities. Without further ado, please give your warmest welcome to Professor Wang. Professor, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, host of this session, Winnie. I'm so happy to be here because this is a so crucial moment for WFWP in Taiwan to share our experience in working as a kind of change maker. You can see how much of dedicated and effort put into this program. As Winnie just talked to us about how WFWP have been working very, very hard in this young women's training, and hopefully we can gain a lot from their feedback today and see how we can move further for this program done by WFWP in Taiwan. So today I'm going to give you the topic called capacity building of the girls, well, I would say young women for international participation. As Winnie talked about our experience in 2019 this year, we worked very hard to train and to get support from the local and international WFP. And we see NGO CSW program can be one of the direction we can help young women to be the excellent speaker for Taiwan or excellent speaker for themselves. But unfortunately, we didn't get much the chance to go to New York to present our results. But anyway, today you can see how important, and not only for international participation, but for their inner side of the development of young women. And actually, I'm working in Department of Social Work, as Winnie said before, as a professor working for the gender inequality in the academic side. I would say this is my life part of the development and involvement to the women's issue. So I will present what I had and seen this very important program for our society of Taiwan and for our young generation of young women, and done by WFWP in Taiwan. Next, please. And I will use a kind of framework to talk about what WFWP in Taiwan can make difference for the capacity building for young women in Taiwan. And first part, I'm talking about our commitment to young women, done by WFWP and planning for the future from WFWP in Taiwan. And secondly, I will fill out what is the main task for this kind of capacity building for young women, particularly for the young woman who has the kind of commission or their vision to the international participation in the world. And thirdly, just when you talk about what is the strategy and the purpose we have done through WFP capacity building program for young women. And lastly, I will give you some sense, what is the basic principle back to our design of this program. In fact, not only one person, we have big team done by mostly from our WFP excellent staff and all the board members, thinking about what is principle we have to follow when we do this kind of international training program, or we done this kind of highly density of capacity building in their inner side or mentality side of young women. Next, please. And firstly, I will mention about commitment. Our commitment done by written by previous president and the international WWP. We find out NGO's participation is so crucial for our young women if we want to be internationalized. So we call the one commission in the beginning is to help the young woman to participate. NGO shares value, because NGO shares value is kind of platform enrich all girls and participants and women who are attendee to learn a lot from other university, other countries, other NGOs. So this is the way we wish our young girls, young women can be very capable to doing this, to participate in NGO shares value. So thinking about our WFWP Taiwan, you can see we highly affiliated with our WFP International, which is our kind of director in this kind of program. And as you might know, WFP International has been highly recognized by UN Developmental, Economic, and Social Affairs. And we have a high UN consultative status at the general level. So look at the general level, in the world, there's only 100 something between belong to this the general level as a consultative status. But luckily, WFP International is kind of leading international organizations for women. So we are lucky to get that leading in terms of commitment for enrich our NGO CSW capacity building program. And thinking about why we have a commitment to this kind of program, not because we have an organizing culture within WFP in Taiwan, which highly emphasizes young girls and young women's development and leadership training. So this is the one, like in the beginning I have to mention why we have a capacity building program for young women, because our commitment, which highly initiated or aligned with the WFP from an international part. Next, please. And in fact, we have some task to work on this capacity program for our young women. First part we call short task, enable capacity, enabling our young women's capacity to participate in NGO CSW in New York. And hopefully next year we can go to New York, present what we have done in Taiwan, our international part. And for the midterm, we also sharing our task, WFP young empowerment in our society. But in the long run, we wish we can develop girls and women with a sustainable, inclusive, and incredible growth and peace. This is our task in the future and in the long run. So no matter what we have done now for our young girl and young woman, but in the future, we should enrich this sustainable and inclusive and equitable growth of and peace for young women in our society. Next, please. And in fact, let me go back to our training strategy. In fact, we have three strategies to train these young girls. First part, I called raising awareness. Most of young girls who apply our training program are really interested in a woman's issue or girls' issues. So we try to provide them how to raise their sensitivity about the gender equality or the identity building of the girls. So this is one strategy we have been integrate to our program. And secondly, because of our task is to reach to the NGO CSW programs and to participate in NGO CSW panel or other event. So we will have some kind of knowledge building and skill training for them. And we wish all the courses can provide their knowledge building and a sense of power to participate in NGO CSW. So we spend a lot of time help them to know what is NGO CSW in terms of organization and the CSW platform in terms of the panel and other issues and other events. So this is a second strategy. We wish our young women can reach some knowledge about gender equality, in addition to gender equality, but about in NGO CSW. Third part, we need to have some support from our local and international part to continue our program. So we call the supporting effective implementation and use this kind of program design. And we are lucky, as Winnie talked before, we have some outstanding organization and outstanding women in our society who support our program. And particularly, we have a previous President Lindy Lee. She highly emphasized on the international participation part of this organization. So we got a lot of support from other resources, including the human capital and the physical capital and other like financial support. So this is not only one agent can do it. So all the supporters from different perspectives, but different way of supporting this program. So we have called three strategies we have done for supporting or to keeping our program can be implemented. So fortunately, we continue to work on this, and hopefully we can do something based on this strategy and get our program move further. Next, please. And after talk about our strategies, I want to share with you about our capacity building principles. It seems very simple, but for me, it's not easy because we have guideline, we have kind of philosophy and corporate organization culture done by our WFWP International, and we also have something which is so important. We call invisible hand to guide our spirit to working for this program. For instance, WFWP in Taiwan highly emphasize on love, highly emphasize on family, highly emphasize on harmonious society building or peace building. So all the guiding principle for working for our program, we wish you can follow our philosophy and our mission and our vision of WFWP. So you can see our program not only based on the international thinking, but critical side of program design is based on our value and our philosophy of WFWP in Taiwan. So firstly, you can see our principle is based on the capacity of young women towards sustainable, inclusive, and equitable, as I mentioned before, because we want to follow SDG, which emphasize our future, and we can help to reach all the goals in 030. And second principle, build the capacity of young women and advancing their involvement in international affairs. This is previous Lindy Lee has said a lot. WFWP is kind of international organization we have to follow, and we have to get a young generation to participate in international affairs. And thirdly, we try to build the capacity of young women through several gender focus. I will tell you later. And lastly, but not the least, building the capacity of young women through their gender inclusive content. Next, please. So I will quickly talk about our building principles for our programs. And first one is building the capacity of young women with knowledge of sustainable, inclusive, and equitable. And in our program, we try to let our young women know what is gender disparity and stereotype in our society. So how to get them to build up their self-identity to be a gender equality awareness in their world. And secondly, we will try to enrich gender sensitivity in their workplace. So today you can see how our young generation working in 140 or in other agencies already have a very strong gender sensitivity, but this is part of training. We wish there can be a person which include gender sensitivity in their life, even in the workplace and others. And thirdly, we try to improve the knowledge of power and relation in service and advocacy for gender equality, and which they can reach this part. And finally, improve the social learning environment to address barriers to women's advancing work and life. So last year, Winnie and Hanru already presented a work and balance program done in Taiwan in last year. NGO shares love it. They had done a great job for us. Thank you very much. And next principle is called next place. It's called the build the capacity of women and advancing their involvement in international affairs. This is a crucial principle in our program. We wish to reach their opportunity for girls, for them with understanding as NGO shares love it program held in New York annually. Hopefully we can be personally present in the New York next year. And also we reach their skill program design and proposal development. And then we also keep them to improve mindset to face challenge in the international participation and networking. And thirdly, next please. Thirdly, we try to help young women in this program build their capacity through several gender focus, because they need to face all the gender issue in their life. And as a woman, how to be keep going in their in their left of the life. I think the gender focus is so crucial in our program. So we conduct a little bit, not much gender analysis. We also expect them to have a gender responsive strategy and intervention sense when they doing their proposals for the international participation. In their proposal training, we also create kind of specific solutions, help them to know how to integrate gender issue into their proposal for NGO's Lobby program. And finally, yes, we do a lot, help them to do the to get a sense of gender inclusive content. So we show how to get a data set of international gender statistic data set they can use. And also we help them to know the gender integrated program design and implementation. And hopefully they can get a sense of evaluation of the gender integrated program. And not at the least, but we wish they can be the advocate for our society or for the international part of the world for the women in the future. This is the 4 principles when we have done for WFP when there's a program has been done for the young women for their capacity building. Next, please. And the final words what I would say, WFP in Taiwan follow or WFP International to show our enthusiasm and our commitment to young women, and wish our young women who are our future. So we have to keep them work very hard and help them to be the person gender sensitive and gender inclusive and can be gender responsive to the world. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Wong. You truly have a big heart. I'm so grateful. Although it's a program for young women, when I participated, I actually learned a lot. Especially Professor Wong has always guided us accordingly and making sure we are aligned with our objectives and making sure that we deliver what we have promised. And that is through her report now, just now, she mentioned to raise awareness and to allow these participants to be able to participate in NGO CSW platform, either panels or events. And last but not least, to support, to connect local and international allies to gather these resources for us to continue to invest in our young women talents. And I think that's truly very important. And that's what Professor Wong has always guided us through. And I'm very, very grateful to you, Professor Wong. And thank you for sharing the guidelines, 1 commitment, 2 tasks, 3 strategies, and 4 principles. I think we will continue to improve our programs by continuing to understand and to deliver. And through what we have delivered, we would like to see how our participants have gained through the programs. And so I would like to now introduce our 3 young women panelists and have them share with you what they have gained while they were in the program. And first of all, I would like to introduce Zini to share what she has gained while she was in our program. And Zini right now works for an NGO organization. She's the marketing manager. And so Zini, please.
Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for the introduction from Winnie, and I'm happy to have this opportunity to share with everyone. And I'm also one of the participants of this program. Okay. My name is Jimmy, and I'm the participant of this program, and I'm also the Director of Communication in Taiwan Basic Income Association and Marketing Manager in 140, a school for migrant workers. I love my work in nonprofits, helping develop communication and digital marketing strategy for important topics. And the picture is the graduation ceremony of our migrant students. I will share more of our work later on. And for this section, I would like to talk more about this program for young women. I applied the program of WFWP in 2020, and it has been an inspiring journey. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to learn from mentors with different expertises. And during the program, I was encouraged to talk about the gender issues I cared. And our topic was about how to help women take on more important roles in different areas in the politics and business. We want to know what are the obstacles that women face and how to design a gender-friendly workplace of the future. So I got the chance to interview women in government, nonprofits, and business, and how they work together to foster a family-friendly workplace, and that will benefit both men and women and ultimately build a greater pool of talent, delivering better outcomes to our society. And we invite speakers worldwide to share their innovative solutions to enhance women's economic empowerment And together we shape our vision for a diverse and sustainable working environment of the future. Even though the event was canceled due to COVID-19, we still make contacts and connections with important role models in different countries, and that inspired me a lot. This experience helped me reassess Taiwan's contribution toward women's economic empowerment. And me and my partner, Ariel, the next speaker, we started an Instagram to share international news about gender issues around the globe. I learned that promoting a purposeful partnership between governments, nonprofits, and business is really important. To make a change, we need to invite different stakeholders to join the conversation. And I really hope this community will create a positive cycle, encouraging women from different generations to gather around and support each other. I believe that together we can change the game for women. And this is my sharing.
Thank you. I love that last phrase. Together, we can make change for women. Thank you for being so passionate about your vision and continue to do something about it and to also connect and to make things happen. Thank you, Zini. Next, I would like to introduce Hanru to share her experience and what she has gained while she was in our program. And Hanru works in the same organization as Zini. She is the organizational development lead. And so now I would like to invite Hanru to share her experience. Hanru, please.
Okay, thank you, Mimi. Hi everyone. I'm Ariel, and I'm really happy to be here with you, and it's my honor to introduce myself. I graduate from National Taiwan University in Taiwan, and as a Bachelor of Department of Social Work, and now I'm working in 140, an NGO focused on migrant workers issue with Ani. And today I would like to share a little more about who am I and how did I join WFWP-TAIWAN eventually. So I'm now 26 years old, a young woman who has entered the workforce for 3 years. During these years, I sometimes feel like the reality is not that ideal, but still I was hold on to my 2 beliefs, including be curious about the world and be passionate about the life I'm living in. And most importantly, be the change maker I want to see in the world. So the motivations I mentioned above leads to where I am now, which is being in a part of NGO CSW. Keep on learning more about how to make the world a better place. Fortunately, during my college year, I received professional academic training in Department of Social Work and have the ability to understand the complexity of various social issues. And I found out that I was interested both in gender issue and cultural diversity. At the same time, I joined NTU Net Impact and 180 Degrees Consulting Taiwan, along with Ani, for learning what is social innovation and the practical skills of consulting. These experiences make me more certain about what I want to do in the future and allow me to engage my profession and knowledge of social work. And I believe so did Ani as well. And after I graduate, I start my career in NGO, working with female migrant workers, mostly devoting to provide educational resources for them to develop useful skills, both for their work in Taiwan and their future when they return to their home countries. So in 2019, Ani and I found out the training program provided by WFWP Taiwan, which is focusing on empower young women to engage in international events. Due to our passion about learning and sharing, we applied to become a part of it. So through the program, we met other young women from different backgrounds and learned from them, from the seniors who have experiences in the international forums. And what made me most excited is that we can share what we have achieved in Taiwan to the world during the panel in NGO CSW. Even though we couldn't attend to the event physically due to the pandemic, just as Annie mentioned, but still we can be a part of the virtually, be part of it virtually. Last but not least, WFWP Taiwan provides a supportive community for us youngsters. This is one of the valuable takeaways from this program. And today, Annie and I are still pursuing our career as NGO workers, and we both hope that we can become the game changers in gender issues. We appreciate what we have gained on our way and look forward to share more about what we do after this program later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanru. I think being grateful is one of the benefits I also gained from this program, because I think everyone just treasure the resources that we have, and we actually have received so much from different professions, women entrepreneurs, and we just wholeheartedly wanted to help our young women to succeed. And I see these young women, they're just so self-driven, and they're so powerful in their own ways, and it's just so beautiful to see how things have evolved and how bright their futures are. Thank you, Hanru. And next, I would like to invite Wei Ling. Wei Ling is a graduate school of National Chung Sen University, and she has so much to share because of her background. Wei Ling, can you please share what you have gained from the program? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Hello. And can everybody see my PowerPoint?
Wei Ling, not yet. Wei Ling, not yet.
Oh, not yet?
Yeah.
伟林，你需要我这边帮你分享吗？帮你。
OK， 可是我已经分享了，没有吗
No, we can see. No.
好，这样子有吗？这样。
Not yet.
No. Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, great.
好。
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, and everybody can see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Oh, how to like? Okay, hello everyone, and I'm Wei Lin, and you can also call me Weiss. That is my indigenous name. I'm a graduate student at the Institute of Religious Studies at NCCU, 政治大学 now. And in the following sessions, I will share how I encountered WFWP and even NGOCSW, and how to transfer and practice what I was inspired of and learn from WFWP training and parallel event participation to my community. In 2019, while I was working at TITV, Taiwan Indigenous Television, since I had the opportunity to get in touch with the news or information about UN activities and international affairs, it was my first time knowing there is UN NGOCSW and its parallel events. I was so curious about to know more about it, so I searched on the internet looking for more opportunity to participate in this event. And by coincidence, I was lucky to find that WFWP had held a women cultivation program, providing young women with training programs to empower women and to participate in UN NGOCSW parallel events. Right away, I invited my best friend, a young woman who also has great enthusiasm on social issues and cares about gender equality. And I feel so lucky because it was the first time WFWP held this cultivation activity. But all members and team are very professional and have solid experience in their own fields. They also show us their loving and caring quality and emotional support. And about the cultivation program, what makes me impressed more is the practical training of parallel event participation, from applying process to following organizing the process much more difficult than I thought before. At that time, the theme of our following was internet pornography, can art action build tools? We choose the topic because this was the most common issues of our daily life. We did a little survey on relevant policies and academic researches. We also designed a Taiwan sex education and internet pornography media attitude questionnaire. You can see on the PowerPoint. And we also interview a few people to our surprise, we received around 300 questionnaires, and more and more people were willing to receive our interview. And we got a lot of interesting feedbacks. Besides collecting data in Taiwan, we also contact as relevant international organizations such as Fight a New Drug, which is the organization who focus on the pornography addiction issue, and also some individuals who is working on healing pornography addiction. However, due to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, the following was canceled, but this unexpected event gave me a precious opportunity to reflect on myself. Because of preparation, I learned how to understand the context and the problems I had in my community from a global perspective. Furthermore, I met so many dedicated, inspiring people because of the cultivation program, which gave me courage to explore my life. Another great thing is that because of the attitude survey I mentioned earlier, we encountered 6 high school girls who was volunteer at Ama House Museum, Ama Jia Wanfu Boguan, and we invite them and organize a half-year-long study group on feminists, and we read feminist theory together and share relevant news and change self-experience. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Wei Ling. I remember when you were in the program, the topic you and your partner chose was actually quite a problem and issue in Taiwan. You're very willing to tackle different issues and to do research on them and to voice it. I think that's actually very brave, and I see your passion, and you're continuing that road to pursue what you believe in. And I think that's just beautiful and wonderful. Now that the 3 young women have shared what they have gained through our program, I would like to invite Zini and Hanru back to the floor. And it has been almost 2 years since you have completed the program, and you have continued to work in the NGO environment. And today your topic will be to share the challenges and innovative solutions for Southeast Asian migrant workers in Taiwan. There are several issues regarding this topic, and I believe you will touch on those issues and what solutions your organization has found and have been actively promoting and executing to make these foreign workers, a home away from home, to realize that dream for them. So I would like to invite both of you to share what you're doing and to allow us to learn from your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Winnie, for the introduction. So hi, everyone. I'm Ariel. And now Ani and I are working in an NGO called 140. So for a quick introduction, founded in 2015, 140 is a nonprofit organization from Taiwan, and we are committed to Southeast Asian migrant workers' empowerment and skills training during their time abroad so they can alleviate poverty and build a better life for themselves and their families. So why we focus on migrant workers? Here are some background knowledge I would like to share with you. Back in their home countries, the low economic development makes people unable to find jobs. So the economic needs become a push factor for migration. On the other hand, Taiwan is undergoing a trend of aging and declining of birth rate. So there is a massive shortage of labor, which is a strong pull factor for migrant workers to come here to work. It has been 30 years since we officially opened the door to legal migrant workers. You can see the number is growing every year. And at the end of 2020, a total number of migrant workers in Taiwan registered is about 700,000, mainly from 4 Southeast Asian countries, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Philippines, and Thailand, which means among 23 million people in Taiwan, 1 out of 33 is SEA migrant workers. They mainly participate in 3 sectors, including domestic work caretakers, industrial laborers, and fishing workers. If we see closer at the sex ratio of migrant workers, we can see that over 50% are female, and they mostly work as caregivers with long working hours. So based on these facts, at the end of 2014, a group of young college graduates headed out to Taipei main station every Sunday to conduct in-depth interviews with migrant workers. Hearing from first-hand accounts, they were listening to the real voices of the migrant workers. Through the interviews, we learned more about what motivated them to leave their home countries to work abroad, and what did they choose to work in Taiwan. Working in Taiwan, what kinds of needs or difficulties they are facing, and what sort of goals or dreams do they have when they return home. After compiling interviews from over 100 migrant workers, we found 2 main challenges. First, besides labor-intensive workloads, they rarely have opportunities to learn useful knowledge or skills before they're going back to their home countries. And second, there is an insufficient mutual understanding between migrant workers and local residents. So most of them choose to work abroad owing to family financial difficulties. The future goal of many is to save up enough money during their years working in Taiwan and then open and run a small business. Let it be a grocery store, clothing shop, a beauty salon, or a restaurant. Some hope to find a stable job with a steady income after going back. Unfortunately, most migrant workers in Taiwan are working in low-level, labor-intensive jobs, which make it difficult for them to accumulate knowledge and skills that will help them start their own small business and find employment in the future. There is also a shortage of friendly learning channels outside the work, resulting in a vicious cycle where many people return home, unemployed again, or they fail to run a business, spend their all savings, ending up leaving their families again to work abroad. On the other hand, 140 observed that there's a stereotype and prejudice against these foreigners in the general public and the media. Taiwanese people keep migrant workers at arm's length due to different nationalities, language, religious, and cultural habits. Media coverage of migrant workers often shine them in a negative light, reporting crimes committed by them and implying they are the indirect source of social disorder. In the face of the increasing number of migrant workers in Taiwan, the general public deliberately avoid contact and interaction with migrant workers because they do not understand and are unfamiliar with them, and the gap between the two populations persists. As the need of labor keep growing, Taiwanese government start to pay more attention on migrant workers. This year, Taiwanese government introduced a new law for the migrant workers so they can apply for permanent residence. And more resources are provided to migrant workers, such as migrant workers can use the respite care provided by the government. Under these contexts, our mission is to make every migrant's journey worthy and inspiring. We hope that every migrant worker's journey in Taiwan can become an important experience in their lives. One day, when they return home, they will remember this journey as a life-changing memory. And different from the government and other organizations, we focus on the entire journey of migrant workers and providing the largest supportive learning community for migrant workers in Taiwan. Last but not least, serving as the first window into the general public's understanding of migrant workers. We would like to offer an opportunity to create a world view with diversity in mind and to build up a migrant-friendly society. And here is one of our major initiatives, 140 School. 140 School is a learning community, especially tailored to the needs of Southeast Asian migrant workers, with the goal of charting an alternative path in life through educational nurturing. Programs include Chinese learning, finance, entrepreneurship, computer learning, and more. So on our offline program, there are over 300 educational videos have been uploaded to the platform, and with 71,000 migrant workers throughout Taiwan register for a long-term online learning. They can access and learn at any time and any place completely free of charge. The Chinese classes offered at 140 School have become an important part of migrant workers who have just arrived and are adjusting to the new life in Taiwan. 140 design materials and group games based on the work-life scenarios of migrant workers, such as taking the bus, going to the market to buy groceries, or visiting the doctor in the hospital. After completing the course, they will take an official Chinese certification exam to obtain a certificate. In the future, they will be able to leverage their Chinese skills to increase their competitiveness in employment after they returning to their home countries. In finance classes, they learn how to manage their income, set up saving plans for themselves, and work with family members to discuss how to use their money to achieve their goals. The entrepreneurship classes are aimed at migrant workers who plan to open a business when they returning home. They are instructed in the basic business concept, including business plans, cost and profit management, marketing and promotion methods, such as e-commerce and operation as well, to increase their success rate of running a business. And so far, about 300 140 graduates have returned to their home countries after completing their work term in Taiwan. And we conduct field surveys in their home country every year and visit their home to learn more about their experience after they returning. And so next, Ani is going to share more about the true stories about our alumni. Thank you. Saying,
Hi, everyone. For this section, I would like to share some inspiring stories from our migrant students and our public advocacy strategy. And the picture is one of our students, Warti, and she's an entrepreneurship course student. And after 4 years working in Taiwan, Warti returned to West Java to open a clothing store, where she has 6 employees and 9 sewing machines. She told us that she hired people who did not have job in her community and taught them how to make clothes. She saved enough money to buy a new house for her family, giving her 2 children a better education and learning resources. She used the business skills she learned in Taiwan to improve her life, her family's lives, and also the whole community. And another student is from our Mandarin course called Umi, and Umi is her name, and she worked overseas for 17 years. Her dream is to open a bookstore and provide a space for migrant worker community to read, write, and talk about their situation. She writes novels and poetry to share stories of the lives of migrant workers and has already published lots of her work. She used her pen writing stories of migrant workers in Taiwan and helped them speak up for themselves. One of our main mission is public advocacy, and our goal is to end stigma and discrimination against migrant workers. We believe that by striking real-life conversation between the 2 sides during the activities, migrant workers have the opportunity to learn more about Taiwan's culture, and while Taiwanese locals can learn more about migrant workers' life and culture by directly interacting with them. More than 50,000 Taiwanese people have been introduced to the migrant community over these years. And we also curated cultural sharing events of numerous topics, such as migrant holidays, Southeast Asian kitchen parties, social design workshops, and many more. We believe education can bring real changes, not only to migrant workers, but also to Taiwanese young generations. The national curriculum requires teachers to involve cultural diversity in their classes. So 140 issued a culture toolkit for teachers to use as teacher material. We encourage teachers to download the toolkit freely through our Facebook, and there are 2,000 education workers have applied. We also collaborated with children's books publishers and included migrants' culture in these books. These approaches have helped promote young generations' global perspectives. And media is the key tool for people to learn about migrant workers, and the news always strengthen the hostile attitudes towards migrant workers, and we want to change that. So we write 180 articles, 80 videos on our YouTube channel, and cooperated with a variety of major media to spread our own voices. And these are some of them that have been broadcasting our stories. We hold annual exhibition as a channel to communicate with the public about the issue and what 140 has achieved throughout the year. And every year we cooperated with migrant workers who are artists, photographers, and designers. We hope people understand that migrant workers are not just labor, but also real people with dreams and talents. And we believe that migrant workers take on 3 roles: labor, talent, and ambassadors. Taiwan has been facing an ongoing trend of aging and declining birth rates, with the elderly population increasing rapidly. Migrant workers contribute to comfortable lives in Taiwan. They constructed our infrastructure and take care of senior citizens. And also, if we look at migrant workers from the perspective of talent, they can take advantage of the valuable knowledge and skills they acquire during their time working overseas. So they are professionally upgraded, and when they return to their home country, they can engage in jobs with higher knowledge demands and economic value. And also, Taiwanese companies are now actively branching out to Southeast Asia, and they need local talents on the ground. Returning migrants who have the Taiwan experience and are proficient in Chinese are the best talents to help Taiwanese business to make inroads in Southeast Asia. So in a way, they present a pool of potential talents in their country too. And also, if we look at migrant workers as ambassadors, every migrant worker abroad represents the culture of their home country. This creates the opportunity for the other country to understand their culture. And more importantly, tens of thousands of migrant workers in Taiwan return to Southeast Asia every year. If everyone lives with a fond impression of Taiwan, it will greatly enhance Taiwan's international image in Southeast Asia and also solid citizen diplomacy in the long run. For every country and city in the world, people are learning how to live with the people from different languages, races, and culture. And we believe that social progress depends on how we engage with people from different backgrounds. So we hope our work in 140 lead the way to a more globalized future. And this is the end of our speech. And we want to learn more about your opinions of our work. And if you're interested in our program, including School for Migrants and Book and House program, you can scan the code and take a deeper look at our website. And feel free to contact these emails so we can learn more about your opinions. And we hope that maybe we can cooperate in the future.
Thank you, Haru and Sini. Could I please invite you to leave your screen on? I'd like to ask a few questions. I'm sure the audience, like myself, is very touched with what you're doing. Migrant workers, these Southeast Asian migrant workers come to Taiwan to help us in factories and families. And families, they help us take care of housework, our kids, and our elderlies. So they're like a part of our family. And through your work, I understand that there's still a gap between Taiwanese people and these migrant workers because we don't understand their culture, we don't understand their language, they don't understand ours. So in terms of communication, we have some barriers, so we're unable to communicate effectively. So I'd like you to both to share in terms of, let's say, power is to connect and to unify resources. And Jenny, you were mentioning there are some medias that, media platforms that are willing to voice and to voice your stories, to share your stories. Could you share more about how 140 had actually gone to these medias and share your stories and how and why they're willing to share your stories? What do they aim to gain and wish to deliver? So could you share more about that?
Okay, thanks for the question from Winnie. And we've been talking to a lot of reporters in Taiwan, and they are very excited to learn there are different aspects of views, how people could interact with migrant workers. Mostly they reported like social news that are like migrant worker escaped and how the employer has beaten them up. So these are all hostile attitudes towards migrant workers. So many reporters are tired of this kind of narratives, and they found a new direction and a new way of reporting how Taiwanese people could interact with migrant workers. So when they see our students and how they present themselves very proudly and how they can use Chinese and how they learn their dreams, so they could take a deeper look at how migrant workers build their life in Taiwan and back in their home country. And so these changed their minds of migrant workers, and they love these stories too. They just can't find a way to get deeper interactions with these migrant workers. So we are like the channel and the community for them to learn more about migrant workers community. So this is what we do, and we hope that this could create a positive cycle to introduce more Taiwanese locals to learn more about migrants' culture.
That's beautiful. To give hope to people, because during different stages, we have to maybe travel abroad to work, and like them, they have to come over here to work, leaving their families, their young children behind. It's actually really hard. So when they come here, they, with 140, what 140 is doing is helping these workers to have a future. And having a future through education, I think that's just beautiful. And that's exactly what we want to do in WFWP Taiwan with the leadership program for young women. That's exactly what we wish to do, to foster young women like yourself, to be able to make some changes, make a difference in things that we do. Maybe it's a topic that we're interested in, like how you both are interested in social work, and you continue to find an organization that their passion and their objectives, their direction is what you believe in. So I think that's just beautiful. Seeing Warti and Yumi, their smiling faces actually warmed my heart. I think that was just beautiful. So could you please share more about, in terms of shortening the gap between Taiwanese people and the workers, through these programs, events, what else do you think you could do further to close that gap? So maybe Hanru, could you share that with us, please?
Yeah, so during this year, we held events such as photography events to let people to know more about the story. And in the future, we think that we can put more efforts on education for like students in Taiwan. So nowadays, as I mentioned, the number of migrant workers is now growing. And I believe, we believe that the students need to know more about the cultural diversity in Taiwan. So we are planning to like make some learning materials for like high school students, or holding workshops for them to know more about the migrant workers. And in the future, when they become, when they enter the society and they have the right attitude towards them, we believe that it will make a difference. Thank you.
I think so. And I believe through our last conversation, we were talking about even educating our younger generation to appreciate, be grateful with the help at home. So, just saying thank you, please, these simple things that we could do in our lives to make their work, make their job easier, and to be inclusive, in our families. I think that's beautiful, and things that you're doing is to bring awareness of the issues. You also mentioned about 140 school, and that's actually really interesting because the school for migrant workers, that's really exciting to know. Could you elaborate more about this 140 school?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the 140 school, it's just I mentioned, is one of our initiatives. And we found that many migrant workers only can work, only have like day offs on Sundays. So actually this school, we only opens on Sundays. And we can see that they love to use their day offs to come here, because this is a place where they can learn and meet with the other friends from their home countries. So besides providing learning materials, we really want to establish a supportive community for them, because we all know that working abroad, it's not that easy, and there's a lot of obstacles in daily life. So I think 140 school is just, we want to just give them support and let them know that Taiwanese people, it's really, we have friendly attitude towards them. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Professor Wong, I would like to invite you to comment on this sharing. As a professor in this field, can you share some of your thoughts and insights on how this type of program could actually really help the migrant workers and to shorten the gap between Taiwanese people and these workers? Professor Wong, could I please invite you to share your thoughts?
Okay, I think 140 is unique in our society. Although Winnie and Hanru is humble to say more. As you know, 140 has been well established in their mission to help migrant workers who are sort of disadvantaged in our society. So you can see how they define the problem very uniquely. Maybe some people cannot see what is the needs of the migrant worker, but 140 clarify what we need to help not only people-oriented, but society-oriented to help migrant workers. And as Jenny and Hanru already talked about the mission of the 140, I can see a very some point is so impressive to me. First one, 140 school, yes, through education is the key to help migrant workers to be supportive. So last few minutes, here's a story about how 140 school will be initiative in this kind of support through education. Hanru already said about this school is not only provide educational content, but also provides social support or mental support. So for them, for migrant worker, you might heard about the knowledge building is important, but how is the resources that a migrant worker can use in their life through the public or private agencies or organizations. So this is something which is so important in the school. And I also heard that group support through this kind of occasion of educational program. A migrant worker can take a Sunday leave to come to here and to get emotional support or called mental mindset rewind. So this is so crucial for the migrant worker to continue their work, because most of migrant workers in Taiwan are home-based services. So their life is kind of stressful when they have a kind of special interaction with their host in the family. So they need a kind of break. And there is a lot of program developed by the NGO to help migrant workers to get release of the life. So 140 can kind of a window of services provided to the migrant worker. I think that's great. And also heard that 140 has been working hard. I call it WE program. WE program, Women Economic Empowerment Program. Although a migrant worker can earn some money, but they need to the economic sense of financial management skills. So WE program is so crucial from the gender perspective. WE means Women Economic Empowerment Program. So I'm highly impressed with your talk about how to help women, migrant workers in our society when they're staying. And one thing which is so humanitarian thinking is a returning program for the migrant workers. This is something new in the whole world who are emphasized on the migrant worker right. Migrant workers spend their life in other countries, but how about the returning adaptation and returning skills for living or returning right in their countries? So some program has been developed how to help them to be adaptive to their society as quick as possible. So 140 did a good job anyway, and thank you for Zini and Winnie. You guys have been working very, very successfully for 140 and make 140 to be a unique and to be humanitarian and to be caring to the migrant worker in society, because migrant worker in Taiwan is not complementary supply to the labor force of caring, but it is a permanent human resource for the working for laborers for the caring elderly particularly. And migrant worker in Taiwan is not a supplementary manpower, but it is a primary manpower for caring right now, because we are moving toward aging society. We cannot go without those migrant workers from other countries. Those migrant workers make so much difference for our society, particularly carer, disabled, and the elderly. Thank you for your sharing about 140. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wang. Thank you, Zinia and Hanru. I think for WFWP Taiwan, the program, the young women that we select, that we want to invite to join our program are ladies like yourselves, who are so enthusiastic about making changes, who are so self-driven to make a difference, and also continuing in that field, making a difference. So like today, we're able to be together and to present this topic, Women, the Game Changer, through this panel. I believe there's some value in this because we're connecting. Through this panel, we're able to introduce 140 and to let people know that we care. We care about migrant workers, and these are the things that we're doing. We're also connecting the resources. How could we do more? By myself alone, I can do a lot, but with more people, we're holding hands together. I'm sure we can do more, much, much more. And so it's just so beautiful being able to connect and to have all our audiences. Thank you for all your comments. I know you're all very excited, and thank you, Zini and Hanru, for your presentation. Everyone's excited about this. It's just things that we are seeing happening. We're not just talking about there are issues, there are problems. Hey, but what can we do about these issues and problems? Maybe we could try this, we can try that. You know, when there's a will, there's a way. And I think that's what we want to do with WFWP Taiwan Leadership Program for young women. We like to connect. We like to invite young women to join our program, to go through that learning process, to share what they already know, and to learn, to be educated, and to continue to advance. And I think that's just that's a positive cycle that we would like to see happening. And truly grateful for Zini and Hanru's sharing. Thank you. You brought so much hope in our lives, and you know, it's just like really happy to see what's happening out there. Thank you again for your sharing. Next, I would like to invite our next young woman, who's also very, very dedicated in her research and her work. Wei Ling has always been very enthusiastic in sharing her background. And the topic today she would like to share is the Journey Home, ongoing story of a young Indigenous woman reconnecting with her heritage. So now I would like to invite Wei Ling to share your story.
Okay, I continue the previous parts. And thanks to the cancellation of the fallen, and then I had time to slow down and reflect on my motivations. I found myself feeling a little empathy during the time that I found this feeling is come from my distance with my lands, my own culture. I found myself not knowing the real life of women living in Taiwan, let alone Indigenous women, which is my father is Indigenous people, so I have Indigenous blood. So at that time, I have a very strong thoughts about going back to my Indigenous roots. And because of the cancellations, I back to my work in Indigenous television. I start to focus on news about Indigenous women and sexual violence issue against them. I was fascinated by reports about Bolivian Indigenous women theater. This special theater consists of Indigenous women who are survivors of sexual violence. And fortunately, I got scholarship from Academia Sinica. The institute provided me academic support studying in the theater. However, again, because of the COVID-19, I was supposed to fly to Bolivia to work to study with this fantastic theater, but this trip became impossible, and I was become a little frustrated at that time. Again, however, again and again I reflect and ask myself, why don't you just go back to my community and see what is the gender violence situation in your village? So there's a sound like aha. I had this thought in my mind, and then I just applied tribal service scholarship, which is also provided by the Institute of Ethnology, Academia Sinica. Then I invited some young people in my community. We get together and launch a local media platform, and we started from soft reports, like reporting cultural events and interviewing like the elderly in our village, and to record their memories. We hope to raise social issues among young people, or maybe cultivate local reporters. However, we encounter many difficulties because of the people in my community, because of their economic, educational, and cultural background are so different. Most of the people don't have time and interest in discussing social issues, especially the issues about gender violence in my village. So we may hear people talking about the stories, the cases about domestic violence, public sexual harassment, and rape, but they seldom take it seriously, or they don't know how to discuss these issues. So at that moment, I found myself need to do some deeper research on gender relationship and harmonious balance between feminine and masculine in my own tradition. Then I can really know how to entangle violence issues in my community, or even to discuss these kind of issues in all Indigenous people in Taiwan. That's what I'm doing now. Now I'm still a master student. I'm writing a thesis about my people, Taiwan's people, spiritual traditions, and I am still continuing using local media as the information center to share information about the gender equality information and story of the Indigenous women around the world to our community. Okay. Thank you for your listening and attention. And sorry, it's 2 years ago, but the whole training program, the preparation process is just vivid for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Wei Ling. I love your again and again. I love your not giving up. That's your strength. I see that you're continuing to just grab on and to just continue to move on. And I'm so happy not giving up is one of your biggest strengths. Yeah, it makes me want to cry. So, I think we all get very frustrated at times, when we want to do something and we're unable to do something. But what you did was you went back to your roots. You went and interacted interacted with people, you went and did more research, understanding, learning, and through that process, you're able to identify, how do I tackle these problems? How do I voice these issues? And you actually very well use your resources to voice these issues and to raise awareness. And I think that's wonderful. Like you said, it's actually very difficult because of the economic situation and education level, the social issues that's happening in those villages. It's probably very hard for some people to share what they see and what they think. But you as a doer, you're making it happen. So it's just so nice to hear you're sharing and know what you're trying to do, and you're continuing moving along in that direction to make a difference. In that sense, could you please also share what is that? What is that power? What is that in you that again and again allow yourself to stand up and say, okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. I'm not going to give up. What is that? What is that quality?
I think it's kind of characteristic or quality is from my indigenous mother culture. And also I'm not been brought up in a village, but every like summer vacation or winter vacation, my parents are like bring me back to my village. So I observe and experience the how can I say that? I'm very proud of my Indian heritage, especially the tenacious quality of people, and how people treasure their family value, and traditionally they respect women and admire feminine energy, and also respect the nature and the land. And actually, it's very lonely living in a big city as an indigenous young woman, especially when you found your nature is close to the mountains and rivers, and want to having intimate relationship with people. So I was depressed for a long time before, but I think Indigenous people can survive for more than 1,000 years. There must be some resistance and wisdom of how to endure pain and keep going and have hope. In the meanwhile, be faithful to nature or the rules of the cosmos. Those inequality makes me strong. I think when I encounter challenge, I found this kind of resistance helped me a lot and will push me to try again and again. And at the same time, when I have the problems, I know I always have home to go back, because in my community, everybody will regard it and treat all the children as their own child. This kind of virtue still can be seen in nowadays community. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Accepting your root, that's definitely a great start. Thank you. Professor Wang, could I invite you to comment on Wei Ling's presentation and her story?
Oh, okay. I just make very short comment about Wendy's sharing. First of all, I highly respect your mentality to face kind of challenge in your life, and particularly for the root of Aboriginal student, Aboriginal workers in this society. But you did very good job. Your story made me think about one girl who came from the Aboriginal society too in Taiwan, and she was the PhD student of Harvard University in Boston. And when I met her, it is the occasion of NGO-CSW. I invite her to be the translator in New York when we have a CSW, NGO-CSW platform. And she did a good job. for our society, for herself, because Taiwan highly precious of girls or women, not only but anyone from the minority. So I'm sure your future will be bright, and I'm sure your future will based on your experience in your learning or in your facing the challenge. So I had it's impressive to your presentation today. I can see how you help the community, which highly need your support. And you mentioned about how you help the community through the micro macro way to help community. I think community capital in a disadvantaged group in our society is really needed a person like you to help the community to be strong, to keep their culture, to keep their spirit in local society, in local community, particularly in the tribe area. And thank you for your sharing, and hope you develop yourself as much as you can. Yeah. This is my sharing and my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wong. It's truly, it's just very inspiring. People ask me, you know, why do you want to do this program and be involved? You know, when we do this type of program, run these type of program for young women, we see hope. We see hope in the sense that they're so outstanding and they're just so self-driven and powerful. Of course, one of the things that we would like to see is Zhiling, Hanru, and Weiling, and all the participants in our first year program. You are role models to other young women, you know, be willing to share your story, and your story will inspire other people. And I think it's just through story sharing that we hope we can gather more hands, more efforts in making a difference for this world. This is just really being hopeful. I would like to go back to Zini. May I ask you a question? Why did you join 140? I am very curious to know, you know, what is 140? Why does it attracts you, and why are you so dedicated? Zini, can I have you share your thoughts on this question?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
That's the reason is I major in international business, and I want to use my strengths in business to help with social issues. And I believe that nonprofits play a significant role in our society dealing the root causes of social problems. And I believe that's why I want to join the nonprofits organization. And 140 has a vision to build a school, not only for migrant workers, but also for nonprofits. And that attracts me a lot. We shared our work in 140 publicly and built a community for relevant nonprofit workers. And we believe that this would help change the environment of this industry. And that is what I really wanted to do and why I was keep actively engaged in this organization.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And next, Haru, I would like to ask you the same question. Why did you join 140?
Yeah, thank you, Winnie, for the question. I've been an exchange student during my college year, and I stay in Sweden for 1 year. So for me, it is really easy for me to understand the fear or the difficulties for migrant workers in Taiwan. And so this is why one of the motivation that I joined 140, because I want to build a better, a friendlier society for them, so they can work here, live here, happier. And for another part, it's that during my college year, I learned a lot about social innovation. And social innovation is all about how you how to use innovative way to solve social issues. So in 140, all the members I work with, we all believe that we can find a more innovative way to face the difficulties nowadays, and hope that our impact can be bigger and further. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. For sure. I was once a young student, international school student in Australia. I was there since 14, and being a foreigner and receiving care and support from the local people, I think it makes a big difference and makes, home away from home so much more warmer and loving. Yeah, that's just really beautiful what you're set to do and what you're really doing. Thank you. And Wei-Ling, may I ask, you mentioned that previously, but just one more time, may I ask, what are you most proud of your Indigenous heritage? And how would you use that to your advantage in your career development in the future?
Mhm. I think the heritage I mentioned is what I mentioned above. But I think because now I'm still a master student and working on a topic about indigenous spirituality, I choose this topic is because my father's family in my community was a traditional healer family. So actually, I found myself have some gifts to how can I say it? We all say that the traditional healer have some gifts from the nature, from the gods, and I found myself and my family member in my family has these kind of gifts. And also I feel that I have the responsibilities to take care of my people through the ways I mentioned above. I don't know what this kind of feeling is from where, but I just have this feeling in my mind from a long time when I was a little girl. And so I would say that I would like to study on how, besides studying in the traditional spirituality, I would like to study more on how to communicate between different spiritual traditions. Even more, I can broadcast and make educational programs of spiritual education to the society. Yeah. So that's how I transfer my indigenous heritage. Yeah.
Oh, that's
but I think it's a very big picture. So I'm still on my way to there.
No, but continue searching. It's your calling, and the calling is so true to you. Follow that calling, and just again and again. Don't give up. I'm sure one day you will find that that's special something that it's already been set there, and you have to take it and to continue to fulfill that responsibility. And that sense of responsibility, I think that's also a big motivation for you to continue to move on despite of all the challenges and issues. Hold dearly to those senses and those feelings and passion, and those will guide you through along the way. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yep. Well done, ladies. I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much. We're gearing towards the end of our panel session. But again, I am so grateful that because of the WFWP Taiwan Leadership Program for Young Women, that we are able to meet each other, to get to know each other. And although it's almost 2-3 years, whenever we see each other, it's just so warm and we connect straight away. It's I really treasure that relationship with all of you, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity to learn with you and to continue to better ourselves and to gather our resources and to invest in things and issues that we believe is very important, are important to creating a better world and a better connection with each other. So as one of the program organizers and mentors, I'm very proud of all of you and all the candidates, participants who were not able to join us. It is really our responsibility to pass on all our experiences and to continue to be that role model to others. And like I said, sharing stories is very important because we don't think our story is that, fantastic or worthy of sharing. But you know what? In each story, there's something valuable and something that we could take away with. And I believe through all of your presentations today, we have something to take away with us today. And audience, I'm so grateful that you are willing to spend this time with us. And please allow me to introduce you to our program, Leadership Program for Young Women for 2022 to 23. Our participants ages from 20 to 35. That's the range of ages that we look for. However, we're not that strict in terms of ages. Traits of characteristics of these candidates, they have to be fluent in English, that's be able to communicate their thoughts and their plans in research topics. And also they need to care about social issues, either that's internationally or locally. They need to really have a heart for that. And also they have to be interested in international affairs. And now that we're all striving to work on the SDG 17 categories, I think they need to be aware and be willing to participate. We have a group of supporting professors, professionals, and women entrepreneurs who will join the program. And for the duration of the program, we have different courses, training sessions, mentorships. So these will be interacted, it will be designed within our program to promote and to provide more learnings through different perspectives. So it's not like sitting in class and just learning how to do presentations. It's very lively, it's very real. And we use real issues, like real topics that these young women are interested in. We use that topic that young woman is interested in to continue to foster and to deepen that research and that to raise that awareness from others. So that's one thing that we will have is professional supports. Like I said, with the training programs, we have a variety of courses that we provide. Through our first year experience, we know better what could be eliminated and what other courses, lessons could be incorporated. And so we would like to improve on our programs through the feedbacks from the young participants of that first year program. And we would deliver different courses to provide a better skill set to prepare them for 2023's CSW's panel events. And I think it's also important, and this is one of the many reasons why we want to organize this panel event, is to connect internationally. And I know you out there, you spent this time listening to our presentation, try to understand what we're doing. We love to connect with you. I think in each country, we're encountering different issues, problems, but we're all doing our best trying to tackle that issue and problem through our own ways. But if we could effectively connect and be able to share our experiences and, to improve on how we could do things better. I think that would be wonderful. So I would like to use this opportunity to connect. And later on, in our last slide, we will provide a QR code for you to be able to contact us, and we will be able to use that connection. We can do further discussions on how we could collaborate and to work together. So yeah, this is we would want to recruit. We would want to recruit participants, new members for our 2022 program. So if you're creative and if you are passionate about international affairs, and if you're responsible, and if you're interested in women issues and the SDG topics, we want you to join us. We want you to participate in our programs. And even if you're overseas, we'll try to see how that works. Never tried that, but hey, everything, there's always the first time. So let's try to do it. Let's connect. Let's see how we could work together and to foster this program, to make it a better program and to implement in all countries so we could educate and to raise our young women. And I think that is so, so important. So through education, we could become, everyone can become the game changer. So this is what we hope for. So we want you and we welcome you to participate in our 2022-23 program. So there's the QR code. When you get a chance, take a shot and give us your information. We'll get back to you. And so we're towards the end of our session. I would again love to invite Professor Wang. She's the pilot of this whole program. Without her, we could not have gone this far. And I sincerely thank Professor Wang for all your guidance and support. So before we close, Professor Wang, may I invite you again back to the floor to share your closing remarks.
Okay, Winnie, thank you all for the audience. You guys just did a good job for our session. Not only because of your participation, but because in your enthusiasm to the young women's issues in the training for their capacity development. And from our session, this is a long session anyway. Very long session. I think first of all, I would say congratulations to our young women who had participated to our program before. And I don't say our programs unique in terms of training for the international affairs, particularly for NGO and Switzerland. But I would say the person who gone through the process of recruiting, reselection, and some training, I think you guys learn a lot and grow a lot because of a challenge of the program. For the last part, I see Weini, Hanru, and Zhini. You already have kind of uniqueness of a young woman's career-oriented patient. First one, I can see you guys' mentality is quite strong for facing the new future. First of all, I can see your autonomy, which is so important for girls. And secondly, be yourself. No matter what your education in university, but I can see be yourself is so important. Just like NGO role and NPO work is so crucial for a Zhini when you choose your job when you are a graduate. So this is be yourself. And third one is your commitment. Most of you highly emphasize on your career to be committed to our society. Facing the kind of disadvantaged people need a lot. And also I foresaw the D development. you guys did great job for developing yourself through working, through study, and through anything you want to be developed through your participation and your effort to yourself and to your work. And finally, I would say you guys did good in empowering yourself, because you need to be much stronger from we call strength perspective to empower yourself. You see your strengths and you see your root and use your career and use your future, which you need to be much stronger, but need to base on your mindset, which is positive thinking, or we call the positive mindset. So this is first part. I'll reply to your A, B, C, D. A is autonomy, B is be yourself, C is commitment, D is development, and E is empowerment. So personally, I would say 3 young women so strong, and I can see their future will be very respectable. And second part, I would say the agency, the contribution of agency to our society. 3 persons presentation is impressive to the audience. I think several parts. First part, you choose the agency which can be caring and concerning and committed to the disadvantaged people, the disadvantaged population in Taiwan. And NGO is a very powerful agency in our society. And you guys choose NGO as your first step in your career. I think that's a good choice. 140 is so unique, as I said before, which is innovative, which is so caring the disadvantaged people in our society, and which is so uniqueness in their international perspective. So from agency perspective, it seems to me organization culture, or we say the corporate culture, is the key to bring you to go further. And secondly, I also see Zhini and Andrew from your presentation. You guys are kind of creator for agency as well, because a new program need to be a kind of innovative. And innovative is the way to keep society moving better and better. And based on your background in National Taiwan University or in other university, the basic knowledge of building is in university, but innovative thinking and innovative participation of programs design. I think 3 of you has been working hard to be the innovators in the future. But one thing I would add is, if you are working hard in your career, don't forget gender innovation. Gender innovation is new in the recent 10 years. And the initiator of this kind of thinking is from Stanford University. That means whenever there's innovation, don't forget gender included to all the innovation things, event research, or programs or policies. And thirdly, from the society side, I would say, well, young women is the key to bring our society, to be a kind of base of development. I can see the advantage of young women after kind of academic training or on-job training. Young women can keep their commit much longer, and their persistence quite longer, as long as they make decision. So we call resilience perspective approach for pursuing your future. Resilience means as long as you pay attention to the barriers and you find the solutions, I'm sure you can be better. So resilience perspective of the life, or anyway for your career development, I'm sure you can do better. I can see the all element and your strengths have been paved the way for resilience thinking of your future. And finally, I was to congratulate to our society. WFWP in Taiwan is a kind of women's group. We help not only young women, we help young generation like teenager to be prevent themselves to free from the addiction of a drug or something. And we also use the life cycle theory to help a woman when they face different cycle of the world, they can be better. So the whole society need a kind of program to the woman's whole life cycle, young, and to change the role to the to have a family role and to career. So we will have a new program. We'll have a kind of a NGOCSW, another participation program for the audience. We call Education Impulse the Evolution of Mankind, which will provide all the programs which has been done by our WLP. So welcome you to see how WLP can do different for the woman in their whole life, from the young girl to the elderly. So elderly kind of academy will be one of the new program of policy making in our WLP. And also we have some different kind of program for the women who are for the family and to balancing work and family. We also have a program for the young girl who are at the school or in the university to help them to be developed through any kind of support. So this is a kind of mission for WFP in Taiwan. And for the society, we are perspective. We are thinking about WFP can do much better for the peace or harmony society as well. So the three of you give us a very nice impact to think about how WFP in Taiwan can do better for the mentality building of the woman through our capacity building program in the future. As Winnie just said, we will keep going, shape this WFP as a platform to make more girls, particularly more young women, to have international opportunity, international participation, and give them opportunity to be themselves and to be a kind of star for the future, internationally or locally. So this is something I would say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Wong. And I would like to again invite all of the audience to attend our panel session on March 23rd, 10 p.m. EST. It's on education. The topic is on education empowers the evolution of mankind. It entails what we do in WFWP Taiwan and WFWP International. And also, we're so privileged to have WFWP Japan chairlady to join us to share her view, Ms. Chairman Hori, to share with us on several issues and what they're doing in Japan. So please join us on March 23rd. Last but not least, these are the QR codes for WFWP Taiwan and the feedback questions. We would love to hear from you. Please take a few minutes to fill out the questionnaires and allow us to understand how we could do better, and give us some thumbs up if we're doing okay. And if you think this is the right path and you would like to know more, we will provide you more with all the information that you need. Last but not least, I think Personally, I think authenticity is very important, but I tell myself, don't try to be different just because you want to be different. I need to understand who I am, and understanding who I am and knowing what I am, knowing my passion and following my callings like Wei-Ling. I think that's very important, and being rooted and grounded, it allows us to do more. And also enabling each other to become better. I think that's just how we would, in WFWP Taiwan, would like to pursue all the programs. Last but not least, I wish all the programs could be sustainable for us to continue to foster young women and younger generation to continue along this path, and let's make a difference. Thank you all again for joining us, and thank you, Professor Wang, Zili, Wei-Ling, and Hanru. Thank you all for your time, for being our panelists today. It's just so rewarding for me as the moderator, and I learned so much from all of you, and I thank you, each one of you, for your time. And thank you, audience, for joining us. Our time is up, and we wish you well, stay well, and let's hope to see each other soon in the near future in person. Bye for now. Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye.